Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me again. In my previous video I talked about countries where you can practice medicine, so this is the continuation of that video. I didn't mention all other countries where you can practice medicine, so I'll be starting with Canada. In order to practice medicine in Canada, you need to pass their medical licensing exam, and that includes the MCCQE1 and the NAC exam. So the MCCQE1 is a multiple choice question, and in this exam most people use Toronto Notes and then UWord Step 2 CK question bank to prepare for it. Then after passing the MCQE1, you also have to write the NAC exam. That one is more of OSCE, that's oral. Yeah, and after all these, passing the MCQE1 and then passing the NAC, you have to now apply for residency in Canada. That's medical residency in Canada. And before you can apply for medical residency in Canada, you have to first be a Canadian permanent resident. That's, you have to have green card. I think a lot of people shy away from writing the Canada medical licensing exam, because after writing this exam you can't go ahead and apply for medical residency. You still have to first get green card, and getting a green card can be very tedious. So that's why most people just look elsewhere. They look at other countries where they don't have to become a permanent resident first. Yeah. But if you can afford this exam, another thing is these exams are very expensive. So if you can afford them and you are sure that you can get the permanent residency or green card, maybe through the Canada Immigration N3 or through any other means, then you can just give it a try and apply for medical residency in Canada. But if you know that after writing all this exam you won't be able to get the green card, then it's better you just look elsewhere, honestly. Plus, another thing about Canada is that even after writing these exams and getting the green card, you are still not sure of matching into medical residency, because I heard the medical residency is very competitive, so you are still not sure. And IMGs don't have a lot of chances to get into the Canadian medical residency. Well, according to statistics, that is what it says. I don't know if anything has changed so far, but from the information I have gathered, it is very difficult to match into the Canadian medical residency because of the little available slots they have. Yeah. So the next country on my list is Australia. I actually like Australia, like after USA, Australia is the next country that I actually prefer when it comes to practicing medicine. So in order to practice medicine in Australia, you need to have the Australian medical licensing. So in order to have this Australian medical license, you have to write their exams. So they have the Australian Medical Council Exam 1, AMC MCQ 1, and the second one is AMC2. So the AMC is more of MCQs, like you write the exam using computer and all of that. Then the AMC2 is more of clinical knowledge, more of OSCE and all of that. Yeah. Another thing about Australia exam is that it is very, very expensive, but if you can afford it and you write these two exams, you pass, then you can go ahead and start practicing in Australia. One thing about the Australian exam is that after writing the AMC1, you can actually start looking for jobs. Yeah, you can start looking for jobs while you write the AMC2. Although there is exemption, let's say you write the AMC1 and you pass, you might not write the AMC2 if you do the work-based evaluation. Let's say you've done AMC1, you pass, you get a job, you go to Australia. Let's say where you're working, they can do work-based evaluation. If they find you worthy and they see that you're very good, they can just waive the AMC too. But majority of the time, people just write the AMC too, because you wouldn't want to stress yourself looking for somebody that will do work-based evaluation for you. Another thing about Australia is that if you are already a specialist, let's say in the UK, let's say you're already a specialist in the UK or in US, you can actually go ahead and apply for their license without having to write the AMC1 or AMC2. That same thing also applies to Canada. Let's say you're already a specialist in your home country or in UK or in US and some other countries, you can apply for fellowship. Instead of applying for medical residency, you can just go ahead and apply for fellowship in Canada. Yeah, instead of starting all over again from medical residency. Yeah. What else do I want to say about Australia? Yeah, another thing is that Australia recognizes UK license and some other countries like US, as I've already mentioned. But most IMGs, what they do is, because the UK exams is cheaper, what they do, they just write the UK exam, go to UK, start working for at least a year. With the license and the experience they've gained in the UK, they can just go ahead and apply for the Australian license without having to write the AMC1 or AMC2. So a lot of people use the UK pathway because of how expensive the Australian exam is. Yeah. And when preparing for this Australian exam, you can use the Australian Medical Council handbook. As they call it, the handbook of multiple choice questions. You can also use the AMC recall questions. You can also use what they call the AMCQ banks. Yeah. One thing about this exam is that when you've decided that that's the exam you want to write, make sure that you get better information. Make sure that you get better information, and the resource materials that you are going to be using is what most people use, so that you are sure that you are going to pass. Because if you are using the wrong material, you are going to fail. So make sure you're using the right material so that you can pass and pass well here. There are a lot of groups on Telegram, so you can just look for such groups and join on Telegram. That was the end of this video, or when I upload this video, I would I would attach the link of all these pathways. Yeah, let's say the Australian Medical Council, I'll attach their website. The Canada Medical Council, I'll attach their website, so that you can read all these things. You can read about all these exams, and also you can read about the cost here and the country where you can write it. Because let's say you are from Nigeria now, you can't write the Australian medical exam in Nigeria. You have to go to a country like Kenya, South Africa. So you have to check the website to know the country where you can actually write the exam here. The third country on my list is Ireland. Ireland is another good country, but of course you still have to write. You still have to write the medical license exam, and they have press 2 and press 3. I don't know why they jumped one, they just went to press 2 and press 3. Well, whatever. So the press 2 is a multiple choice question, while the press 3 is like OSCE, that's oral exam. Yeah. So for you to practice, you have to write this exam, but there are exceptions. Let's say you studied in an European country, let's say Germany, Finland, Hungary, Poland. You don't have to write the Australian medical exam. All you have to do is just apply for registration and you get their license automatically. Yeah, but if you are from a non-European country, let's say you're from Ghana, Nigeria, or some of these Asian countries, then you have to write the press 2 and press 3. There is also another exception. This one you have to go to their website and check, because I don't have all the countries in my head. I know that if you studied in Sudan and you did your internship in Sudan, you can apply for the Ireland medical license. or their general medical license without having to write Press 2 or Press 3. I also know that people that studied in South Africa and did their internship in South Africa, they don't have to write the they don't have to write the Irish medical exam. That's the Press 2, Press 3. They can just go ahead and apply for general license and they'll get it. There are some other countries too that can go ahead and apply for their license. You can go ahead and apply for the Irish medical license without having to write the Press 2 or Press 3 exam. It's very, very nice. People that are from this country or did their internship in this country, you people don't know what God has done for you, because writing these exams will cost you like hundreds of pounds, if not thousands of pounds actually, because you have to put your flight ticket in mind, visa in mind. Let's say you want to write Australian exam. Oh, why do I keep saying Australia? Let's say you want to write the Irish exam, that's the Press 2 or Press 3. You have to go to Dublin. They don't write it in anywhere. Mostly in Dublin, that's where you have to go. So you have to get Irish visa, then flights to and fro. So it's expensive. And you also have to consider hotel, food, all of those things. Yeah. So all these people that don't have to write the Irish medical exam, you don't know what God has done for you. You can just go straight, apply for a general license as long as you qualify. Yeah. Another thing is, there are some countries where you must have done your medical residency. Let's say you did residency in anesthesiology. You can actually qualify for the specialist license without having to write any exam. Like I said, I'm going to attach the website of all these medical councils. You can just go to their website and read more. I'm just giving you people basic information. No, not basic. I'm giving you people standard information here, but the rest of the information, like the medical fees, where you can write the exam and all these things, you can get them from the website. The last country on my list is Germany. If not for language barrier or more, I should have just gone to that country. Well, I've already learned how to speak Russian. Если ты мне знаешь, ты точно знаешь, что я нормально и хорошо говорю по-русски. Well, I'm just trying to, test my Russian knowledge again. Well, whatever it is that I said does not matter. Let's move forward. Well, like I said, Germany is a country that I love. US, Australia, Germany, these three countries, I love them. I don't know why, I just like them. So in order to practice medicine in Germany, you need to know the German language up to C1 level. So you have to write the German medical language exam. They call it Fachsprachprüfung. I don't know if I pronounce that well, but that's what they call it. So that exam, you write it, they are going to test your German language knowledge. Can you clerk patients in German language? Can you take histories very well? Can you explain things to patients in German language? So that's what the exam entails, yeah. So it's basically you writing the German language and at least having the C1 level, the language C1 level, yeah. So when you pass it, they will give you their temporary license. With this temporary license, you can now go ahead and start practicing in Germany. Then there is a second exam that you have to write. That one is oral exam. That one is basically medicine. There is nothing like language. There is just you answering medicine, and they call it Kenntnisprüfung. I hope I pronounced that well, but whatever. That's the German medical exam. Not everybody writes this exam though. Let's say you studied in Europe. Your license or your medical degree is equivalent to the German medical degree. So they see it as there is no point you writing the Kenntnisprüfung. You just go ahead and apply for registration. But everybody does the language exam. Everybody does that language exam, but not everybody does the medical exam. That's the Kenntnisprüfung. Not everybody does it. So mostly people that studied in Europe are the ones that don't need to write the Kenntnisprüfung. But if you are from a non-European country or you studied from a non-European country, no, the best thing is if you studied in a non-European country, let's say Nigeria, Ghana, Russia, China, and you want to practice in Germany, you would have to do both the language exam and the Kenntnisprüfung, that's the medical exam. So after the language exam, you get a temporary license, you start working quite all right. But that temporary license is only for 2 years. So within that 2 years, you're expected to get the general license or the permanent license. So if you are from a European country, you wouldn't have to write the second exam. But if you are from a non-European country, you have to write the second exam. So you do the second exam, you now get the permanent license. With this permanent license, you can now go ahead and apply for medical residency. Let's say medical residency in cardiology, surgery, anything you want. Yeah. I think I have done a good work explaining all these things. If you guys need more information, just go straight to the website that I'm going to attach to this video, and I do hope that you get all the information that you need. Thank you and God bless. Oh, lest I forget, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, and share this video to your friends. Subscribe to my channel, share this video to your friends, like my video as well, because I have loads of information that I am willing to share, and you wouldn't know about all this information if you are not keen to my channel. Thank you.